I'm gonna press record now. All right, so good evening, everybody. This is our weekly team training with the group. Every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, we are here for the Dutch people and also the people from Belgium. But today we have opened up the team training. So we have people from different countries in Europe from our group participating because we have a very, very special guest. And this is Miss Michelle Stevens. And I asked Michelle because I watched her training last week and I think the week before also. And I was amazed reading about the mega success that Michelle is doing already, not on the last few weeks, but for months and months and months that she's been in the business for years already. And she's designed a online strategy to attract customers and to attract new business partners in our business. So this business is all about personal development and learning from each other's success. So we reached out to Michelle and we said, are you open to share, you know? And Michelle said, sure, what can I do? I said, well, be on Tuesdays nights, team training, and share whatever you're doing, your magic, your formula, or whatever you're doing online. So Michelle, I'm gonna hand over to you. We are very excited to have you here and thank you for spending some time with us.
You're welcome, and thank you very much for having me on. So just before, if anyone, I speak fast. Adele is probably one of the only people I know on the call. So if you find that I am speaking fast, please do feel free to post in the chat, because sometimes I get a little bit excited about what I'm talking about, and that comes with speed. But you know, it's really nice to meet so many of you, because I actually think, looking through the numbers, the names on there, I don't recognize any of the names bar Adele and Sander. So it's lovely to see so many faces. And for those of you who don't know me, I was part of the launch of IsaGenics into the UK coming up to 4 years ago. So I met Zach and Eden online on Facebook. So it just goes to show really how attraction marketing can be so powerful and what it can lead to. Because we saw that Zach had gone millionaire within IsaGenics, him and Eden, and just a little bit of background so you get an idea of why I use social media. And I'd just come back from GoPro in Las Vegas, and I'd been in network marketing with another company. I'd gone to the top position and I'd left my job as a physiotherapist. So I had a good business, but the business I was in required me to have 50 to 60 customers a month and 5 to 10 business partners to maintain that level of income. So you can imagine how busy I was. I was kind of like a busy fool. So I went to Vegas to learn the skills and came across Emily Vavra, Susan Sly, and just blown away. Thought nothing more of it because IsaGenics wasn't in the UK. Wasn't looking to move. Came back, and as if by magic, Zach and Eden popped up. So curiously, we asked them about it. They said, we're coming into the UK. Can we have a chat with you about the different cultures and how we could grow a business there? We know you're successful networkers. And we met them, fell in love with them, moved across. And that meant 5 months without pay. So I didn't get paid for 5 months because I left my current company and didn't start IsaGenics properly in terms of income until the May. But that has resulted in a team of over 17,000 in my organization. Every single one of you is in our organization. It was me and Emma. There were 2 other girls who are no longer part of the business, but they still have that size organization, which is crazy. There was 4 of us together. So it's been a phenomenal, and it really shows that Zach and Eden using social media attracted us, which led to the UK team, the Netherlands team, a Belgium team, a Spanish team, and now obviously opening up in all those other markets. So I've used social media since I started in network marketing. And what I've really done over the last few months is really homed in on how could I attract people to me? Because we're in a world at the moment where it's very noisy on social media. So what do I need to do to stand myself out from everyone else? What makes me the person that they want to come to when they want to lose weight, get more energy, earn an extra income, get healthy, have a bit of a community, whatever it is. And so there's lots of different skills. And do you want me to kind of just go through what I do on a daily basis in terms of what kind of things, or do you want me to split it down into, and it's up to you guys, it's very free flowing, in terms of a strategy, because I've basically got 3 different approaches to social media. There's 3 different things I do. What would be most effective? Because what I want you to get out of this is that you've got tangible things to go away with and do yourself. I don't want to just share my story. That doesn't help you. I want you to be able to go away and implement the things I'm doing so that you can see the same results. Because just as an example, I've always enrolled using social media, but in the last 5 months, I've enrolled 120 people. In the 5 months before that, I enrolled 47. It's a huge difference. Huge difference. I've found now that the strategy I'm following, 90% of my 90% of my calls get started. So I'm not having to I'm doing less work now because I've really homed in on that. So what would be, post in the chat, let's make this interactive so that you get the best out of this. What would be the most useful thing for you? What would you like to know? Or I can just talk at you.
I think, Michelle, the strategy, so what do you communicate online that is attracting people to come to you, and they're knocking on the door and they're saying, what is it that you do, or can I get involved? Or
Cool. So I work social media. So I treat it as a business. I treat it as my business tool, because I don't like belly to belly, face to face. I might come across as an extrovert, but I'm actually a horrible introvert when I don't know people. When I've had wine, yeah, Adele's right, then I'm an extrovert, but I can't be drunk all the time. And so I avoid talking to strangers. Once I know you, I'm great. But before that, I find it very difficult. So that doesn't mean I can't build a business. I've just got to find what works for me. So the first thing you need to do on any platform, it's the same on whatever platform you're on, is you need to set your profile up so that you come alive, so that your profile, whether you're using LinkedIn, whether you're using Facebook or Instagram, or you're the 3 main platforms, your profile needs to be alive so that somebody can come onto your page, your profile, and feel like they know you. Does that make sense? So you need that to come alive. The way you do that, a profile picture must be of you. Your background picture, and all of the platforms have the same thing, could be a quote that's of value to you, that's a meaning to you. It could be a view that you like. It could be a community thing with regards to isogenics, if you've been to events. It could be you speaking on stage. It could be whatever you want to represent. But really have a think about, who do you want to attract as a customer and as a business partner? So that's the key. When you're setting your profile up, you want the ideal client to land on your profile and go, oh my God, this person's just like me, or this person seems great. I really, even if they don't know you, because over time with social media, you're going to build in a cold market. But even in a warm market, you want your audience, your network, your existing network to go, wow, what's Adele doing? That looks fun. She's having a whale of a time. I keep your profile picture current. Mine I've changed probably once a year. It's not that often. I don't change my background. My background one is the one of me and my kids. And that's on all of my platforms. So I use LinkedIn and Facebook predominantly. I'm a little bit of an Instagram dinosaur, but I do believe that you can apply the same strategies on it. I just haven't spent the time to build that up because it takes time. And so I went onto LinkedIn last year, and I've built up where I get equal number of leads, equal number of enrollments on both platforms now. And I want to go onto Instagram and practice it, but I want to master what I'm doing at the moment. So the first thing I would say is pick one platform and really master that. Don't try and spread yourself thin, because it's too confusing. So choose which platform aligns with you. So just because Facebook is my bread and butter, that might not be Sandra's bread and butter. It might be LinkedIn, or it might be Instagram, and that's okay. But you can still apply the same principles. You want to have on your profile what your job history is. Show that you're a real person. Show that you're a professional. If you're a professional, whatever your line of work is, or your history of work that you want to show. You need to add a bio or something. So all of them have a headline or a bio or something, and that wants to represent who you're looking for. So mine now is very much product focused, where I'm leading very much heavily with the product. And the reason I'm doing that is because in this current climate, I believe, and this is only my beliefs, that there are two types of people at the moment. There are people with a lot of money, more money than they've ever had because their jobs are busier, they're not spending as much. And there's people that have been seriously impacted by what's going on in the world, and they don't have any money, and it's awful. But unfortunately, those people who are really struggling financially, the fear is quite often too big for them to take a leap into a business opportunity. They want, even if it's just a cleaning job that's paying the minimum wage, they need to know that they've got a guaranteed income. And so right now, and whether you agree with me or not, it doesn't matter. It's down to what you want to do. This is what I want to do. So I'm now leading with the product, and I'm looking for people who want to improve their health, who are maybe working extra at the moment, or are really finding they've maybe put some weight on or lost some energy because of lockdown. And I'm looking for people that have got money. Now, I don't mean lots of money. I just mean money that is available that they can invest into their health. And then what I do is I show them when they're getting results how to share. Does that make sense? Are you following me so far? Cool. So you want to have that on Facebook. You want to add the 9 featured photos, and that wants to represent who you want to attract. So my ideal client is women. It is women in their 30s and 40s. It is often mums, but they don't have to be a mum. But these women are probably carrying a few extra pounds. They're really lacking energy. They've been exhausted for a long, long time. They go to work, or even they're full stay-at-home mums. It doesn't matter. But I'm really focused on helping other women to get the best version of themselves. And that is when I do my content, which I'll come on to, when I look for new connections, it's always about, with my mind in my mind, are they my ideal client? Are they? And so I don't have men. I don't talk to men, but that doesn't mean that men don't join me, because they do. But what that does is it stands me out from other people, because if you try and attract everybody, you won't attract anybody. And the reason for that is social media is so noisy. There are so many people. Each of you will get messaged probably daily offering you business opportunities. Try and do this, try and do that. Or I got offered yesterday some coaching for anxiety, and I said I don't recall saying I even struggled with it at the moment. But she was messaging directly looking for work. So you want to be, if you're trying to attract everybody, you will fall into the masses. So be very confident in stepping out of that and really homing in on who you want to attract. So in the corner in my screen, I can see a couple, Dennis and Barchan, I think it is. Sorry if I got your name wrong, but you might want to look for other couples, for example, and that's okay. So that means that you really want to be showing on your featured photos or your highlights, which is on all the platforms. On your LinkedIn, there's also an area for images. You want to be showing success of other couples, for example. Emma really focuses on working with men because that's where she's most comfortable, and she's fantastic at developing men into business partners when they get great results. How do you get the why above? Don't know what you mean by that, sorry. So you choose who your ideal client is, and then your profile needs to attract that ideal client. And often your ideal client is you. So think about your age, what you do for a job, where you like to hang out, what your hobbies are, what are your challenges, what are your struggles, and what are your goals and dreams and desires. And when I really homed in on that, and what are your passions, people were falling out of the sky that are just like me. So when we do a discovery call, we just click. It's just great fun. And as I say, 90%, if not more, get started. It's very rare they don't get started. Very rare. Whereas before, I used to do a lot of calls to a lot of people, and some got started, some didn't. But we live now in a world where you've got to stand out, but also you guys might be working. You've got to fit this into the pockets of your day. You want to do calls with qualified leads that are generally, if you give them the right info, they're going to get started. You don't want to do 10 calls to get one enrollment. That's quite soul destroying. And I've done that. I've done that 100%.
Michelle, maybe you can expand a little bit for the new people, because we have a lot of new people. What exactly is a discovery call? So you're attracting qualified leads. You invite them for a call. What's the purpose on the call? Do you do that one-on-one, or do you do it with a third party? So somebody is more experienced.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So when somebody has asked me about Isagenix, what they're doing, whether it's product or business, I will give them a little bit of, I follow the Our Easy training system. I tailored it slightly to my own wording. So that templates that we've got are gold, absolute gold, but make them your own. So it sounds like it's coming from you. So don't be worried about using that and going, well, that doesn't sound like me, but I'm going to change this and I'll change that, because that's okay. So I use the training system, and I then invite them onto basically a telephone conversation or a Zoom. I prefer a telephone conversation, because if it's a Zoom, I have to look more presentable. So I do prefer a telephone call. And that's where I go really find out what their goals are, why it's important to them, how committed they are, whether it's business or product, what they're looking to achieve. And then from that, I will make the recommendations. I follow the templates, and that's how I would get somebody started. But the key is attracting the people to you for you to then talk to them and get them on a call, if that makes sense. I do that 1-to-1 or a 3-way with a brand new partner. So if I've got a brand new business partner, so say, for example, Adele was brand new. She's just got great results with the product, and she's got her friend Sigrid who's interested. We would have done a call, the 3 of us together, and Adele would have just introduced Sigrid to me, and I would have presented the opportunity or the products. And if Sigrid was interested, it would have been Adele's customer. Does that make sense? So get your profile set right. Then there's 3 areas to building on social media: your content, your network, and your engagement. So if one of those doesn't work, you don't see results. So you need to be posting content daily, and I'll go through different types of content. Posting content every single day. There's no hard and fast rules. I post up to 10 times a day sometimes. Depends on me, what my mood is. Sometimes I post a lot in the morning, don't post on the night, but I really keep an eye on what's my engagement, how many people are seeing my content. And I see that by the number of likes and the number of comments that I get. So if my engagement is down, I did a call about it on Saturday for any of you that were on, I will then do something to increase that engagement so that more people see me. Because you could have the best content, the best network, but if nobody sees what you post, nobody's going to message you to ask about joining or even what you're doing. Does that make sense? So content has to be great and regular. Widening your network, because initially your network that you've already got will be very different. Some people will have 200 connections, some people might have 2,000, but you need to continually expand that so that you don't run out of people. And the sooner you start that very small amount and very small consistent actions, the more you will attract more people. And then thirdly is about being visible and really making sure that you are visible. So I can go through the different types of content. Would that be useful to you? Yeah, cool. So in content, it's about adding some value. So what value can you add to your network? What things are you strong in? Where are your strengths? Where are your expertise? Where are your skills? So Adele's in my screen. She's a dietitian or a nutritionist. I'm sorry if I got it wrong, but whichever she is, she has an expertise in that area. So she can add a lot of free value around talking to people about little tips and things like that she could do. Even if your skill isn't in nutrition and your skill is in hair cutting, you could give little tips to people around I'm thinking out loud, the best cover up for roots and things like that. I'm just thinking of what us women would be interested in. I don't have any of those skills. So I do a lot of motivational quotes, and I've become known for sharing every day a motivational quote. And the first thing I do when I wake up is post something positive. And a lot of people say, I love your positive posts. I wait for them in the morning. And so it's adding a little bit of value that's free. It could be a recipe that you want to share. It can be an exercise tip. It can be anything you like. It could be If you're into economy or you're into business, it could be a business tip that you've learned. You know, that's not my strength, but add some value. So the biggest thing is add some value. Then you want to post content about you. Who are you? So that your network, your new network and your old network build up a know, like, and trust about you. They need to know who you are. So my network all know that I'm a single parent, that I have 2 children that often I want to kill, and sometimes I love, and we have a love-hate relationship. They know that I go to the gym. They know that I suffer with anxiety. They know that I drink gin. They know that I like wine and Prosecco. They know that I love music. And they also know that I love health and nutrition. And so I share the things I post are family stuff, but I also share some of the, no, you can't have £4, some of the challenges that you might face as a parent with 2 children. So I talk about things like my son not calling me dumb. And does every parent with teenager have this? Yes, I did give up my profession as a physio. I just do this now. And so I post about things like that. So it's about being you. And then within that, you post things such as your isogenics transformations or your business success stories. But the biggest key that I can give you is choose whether you want to be leading more with the product or the business, because you want to stand out right now. So you want to be different to throwing everything out there. Now, if you want to lead with the business, when you share a transformation, share that with a business part towards it. Does that make sense? So here's my friend Sander. You know, he got great results with our product. He's now built a business that's allowing him to do X, Y, Z with his partner or whatever it might be. So whereas my way, because I'm leading with the product, I will share my friend Donna started on our 30-day reset, which is what I call our 30-day system, got great results, naturally shared with her friends. And then as a result of COVID, her business that she had stopped, so her income ceased, and she was able to pivot. And in the last 4 months, she's quadrupled her income. And so that's how I would do it. Does that make sense? So wherever you're leading with, because you're talking to your ideal client, your content needs to talk to your ideal client so that they resonate with everything you're saying. Are you following me with that? Yeah? Is that useful? Is that new information?
Really
okay.
cool, Michelle.
Cool. And then so transformation, success stories, anything that, you know, if you are business oriented and you want to post things that are going on in the news and stuff like that, then, you know, you would do whatever works for you, but that's where you're going to post some more. But you've got to spread that out. So if you're going to post once a day, you won't post an isogenics post every day. Does that make sense? So you need to have, when someone goes on your wall, they don't want to see an isogenics robot that's just posting result, because they need to see who you are. So if you look at mine, I post about 10 times a day, 8 to 10, I don't really count, but you'll see every day I post a transformation. Quite often I post a video. Quite often I might post a screenshot of social proof of someone saying something great about what these products have done. And I post things like that. But in between that, I'm posting that I'm at the gym, or I'm posting a quote, or I'm posting something, asking I do 8 to 10, but you don't have to. And if you don't post now, don't do 8 to 10, because your network will think you've gone crazy. Build it up. So build it up. Whatever you do, whatever you feel comfortable. I don't want anyone to think you've got to post this many times a day, because that will put you under so much pressure that you then won't do it. And the key is about consistency. So if to start with, you just posted once a day, that will increase more visibility straight away. I do post in stories. I'm not as consistent with stories because they take time. It's really quick for me just to fire out a post. I think of posts very, very quickly. So I do stories, but I find they need to be a little bit more creative and a bit more artistic, and that's not where my strength is. So I often steal stories from Esther and Tommy, from Chris Ambler, because I love their stories. So I just crop them and then put them in my own spin. But really, I wouldn't say stories are where my strength is. But I do that because obviously that will increase your visibility. So that's your content. Then your network is about widening your network and really adding new connections, adding new friends. So adding old friends that you've not seen. So the best way to start with is, who do you know that you're not connected with, that you went to school with, that you worked with previously? Because the chances are, unless you've built a business on here before, the network you've got on social media is who you're around now. Does that make sense? Or people you've been around. But I had old friends that I connected with. So I went on my old school and I looked for people that were in my school, and I typed their name in the search and found them and added them. And then I dropped them a message. It just makes it so much quicker. Hey, Priscilla, it's so good to see you. You came up on Facebook and I haven't seen you for years. How are you? Dead easy. Obviously, when you get in a cold market, it's a little bit more difficult. So I would do that to start with. I would widen your network with people that you've not seen for years, people you've ever worked with, lived near, gone to school with, people you've met on nights out or through friends of friends. And that's another thing. And then once you've done that, you can really search for people that you know, that you would get to know through groups, join groups of interest, and then start to find members in there that have got similar traits to what you're looking for. So Sydney talked about it on Saturday. What are the traits you're looking for in a customer or a business partner?
Michelle, check out the question from Dennis and Barjana in the chat group. They're asking, can you still divide private life from business? That's the reason they kept their social media not very deep in private life.
Do I separate them? No. But there's only certain things I will share. So I won't share anything personal unless I'm happy with it to be shared. Does that make sense? So when my marriage broke down, that didn't go on Facebook until I was ready for it to go on Facebook. So I'm very private, but I'm also very open with things that aren't important. But when it's important, then obviously it's really, really key to keep things. So my son a few years ago had a suspected tumor in his spine, and that didn't go on social media. But I knew that would create a lot of engagement, but it was very private, and it's important that we keep some privacy. But I also don't show where my children go to school, but I do show my children on social media, because to me, that's part of who I am. And as long as I can maintain our privacy of where we live, then I'm not putting them at risk in any way, shape or form. And that's my personal opinion. I've done it for 7 years. If anyone sends me anything dodgy, I block them straight. I'm really quick on the block button. If you send me something a little bit weird, you're blocked. I don't give you any second chances, because and I don't accept men. And the only reason I'm not against men. I'm not a man hater, I promise, but I'm a single woman. So I've done that, and I end up leading myself down a path where men, married, not married, doesn't matter, feel it's okay to call me whatever they want. And so I don't accept men unless I physically know you. So I won't do that. Obviously, as a couple, it'd be very different. So I am very open. I blog my life on social media. And if you are building on social media, you do need to be willing to be open, but you only need to be open about certain things. Does that make sense? You don't have to show everything. And you might find that it takes a little bit of time to build that up, because it can be a little bit vulnerable to be that open. So I share my anxiety now, but I didn't for a couple of years. When it was really, really bad, I didn't share that. Never. You would never have known. But now that I manage that quite well, I'm more open to sharing. And when I share, it helps so many other people. And that's really, really important, because a lot of people wouldn't think that I suffer with it, because on the outside, I look like I'm confident, I'm this, I'm that. And so I am more open with it now. But you share what you're comfortable with. But if you want to build on social media, you do need to show some personal stuff too. And that could just be it. You don't have to, if you don't want to show your kids, you don't have to. But then you need to then look at, is your avatar going to be people with kids? And that's okay. If yours is business couples that have not got children, that's okay. I mean, I don't even know if you've got kids, but I'm just saying, like, you show what you want to show, but you need to then look at, well, does my profile attract the person I'm looking for? Does that make sense? And then the last part after you've done your content is really about engagement. And that's most of what I went through on Saturday, where what type of things can you do to increase your visibility, increase the traffic onto your social media. And I have a 5-step process. And that is where I ask questions on Facebook as a post or LinkedIn. So yesterday I asked to post about my pigtails and was I too old for them? And that got me over 100 comments on Facebook and over 70 comments on LinkedIn. So that then means that if I interact with those comments, that tells the algorithms that I'm interested and they're interested in what I post. So they'll see more of my content. So hopefully they'll see my Isagenics content and be interested in what I'm doing. Now that doesn't happen overnight, it takes time. So asking questions, I ask questions about, should I get my hair dyed this color? I ask outfits for going out. Obviously this is very female orientated because I am a female. So I ask what color nails to get. But men can ask all sorts of things as well. I asked about people getting the flu jab, whether they were going to get their children the flu jab. So I asked about current conversations, the current trends. I asked about how the parents were feeling about their kids going back to school after COVID, or with COVID still going on. So I asked all those kind of things. Then I build stories. And that's where if I'm getting my house decorated, I would say, what color should I choose? This one or this one? And then I'll show a picture of it being started. And then I'll show an end picture of the final result, because people love reality TV. It's one of the biggest, most successful things. So if people, they want to follow what you're doing and they want to have played a part. So if I've helped Priscilla choose that she's going to go for a radiant pink hair, I want to see the end result. I'm not suggesting you're going to have pink hair. I can see you in the bottom screen. So if I want to see that, then I want to know what color she's got. I want to know what she went for. And people love that. They love being a part of you. And especially when they don't know you, I've got people that say to me, I've never met you, but I feel like I know you. And that's what you want to get on social media. Does that make sense? So building stories. I then send birthday messages every day. Say, hey, Sander, happy birthday to you. I hope you have an amazing day. That's it. He'll reply. The minute he replies, that tells the algorithms we're having a conversation. We're interested. So then he will see more of my posts. Adding new connections. Hey, Priscilla, it's great to connect with you. You know, came up suggested friend. Look forward to learning more about you. Or I saw that you live in the Netherlands or wherever you live. I've got a team in the Netherlands. How long have you been there for? Are you from there originally? Whatever it might be. And the minute she responds, if she doesn't respond, so what? Doesn't matter. But the minute she responds, that means she will now see my content. So it's about getting yourself visible and seeing, and then having that drip feeding of posts so that people can see what you're doing. And when they want to lose weight, get healthier, get more energy, earn an extra income, do a side hustle, they go, right, oh, that Sander does that. Oh, I might ask him, because they've seen him. It's all about exposure. Zach talks about the number of exposures someone needs before they buy. I had a gentleman who did a call with me on Friday, said he wanted to think about it. I added him on Facebook because he was on LinkedIn, and he's liked loads of my posts and the exposure. And today he said, right, I'm ready. And he ordered. Now, if you don't have someone on social media and they're just thinking about it, then you could lose them because they get busy. They're not exposed to it constantly. I don't really, I know that sounds crazy. So I only do this. This is my only job. I post sporadically through the day. I probably spend total in my business, solid work that's productive, 3 hours a day max. Like today, I did from 11 till 2, and I've not done a thing since until now because I've got a friend over. And yesterday I did very little work. Actually, I went shopping, but Sunday I did quite a lot. So I kind of, I up and down it, but I always show up on my content. And if I miss my birthdays because I'm busy, then I'll catch up. So I'll just say, did you have a good birthday yesterday? Sorry, happy belated birthday. I hope you had a good day. So on Saturday, Sunday, I didn't do the birthdays because I was busy with the event and other stuff. So on Monday, I caught up with them. So I'll catch up that way. Someone mentioned about my physio. I don't know what they asked, so I'm going to look. What was your strength you wrote? What was your strength you wrote on social media? I don't know what you mean by that. Sorry. So I feel like I've talked at you a lot and I don't want to overwhelm you, but what questions have you got? I feel like I'm just happy for you just to sort of fire stuff at me so that you can go away, If you give a reaction in Facebook chat or Facebook post, I don't know what you mean. Okay. So with the family stuff, Adele, which is fine, but if you are wanting to attract other people like you, then you need to show more about you and your family life. And there's ways you can do that without being personal. Just get creative about how you could do that. Even if you were doing a picture of, say, kids doing homework, but you don't want the kids in the picture, do a picture of the homework with you helping that. Do you see what I mean? So you can be creative with how you can portray to the right person without, if you don't want your children in the pictures, then you can do it that way. There's different ways. Or you could have a picture of the back of your children going to the park.
Yeah, I think Adele wants to add something to the conversation. Adele, go ahead.
Yes, what I meant was somebody had a question about personal things. If you want to post something personal only to your family, you can make a friend group, yeah, and then post only to that group. So only that group of people will see your posts. Or some people really are scared posting about too many things, but they want their family to have the pictures. So that's an easy way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just WhatsApp my family pictures to my mum and dad and things like that. So we have little WhatsApp group chats. And you know, it can take, when I started 7 years ago, my network, I hardly posted. I saw a post earlier and I posted something miserable, and it was 2012, and no one even liked it. I had 200 connections, friends on Facebook. I wasn't on any other platform. Now I've got 4,960 friends, 2,000 followers, 14,000 connections on LinkedIn, and a little bit on, I mean, I have got about 1,500 on Instagram, but I don't use that. So I've built that up over time, and I got more confident with posting little bits and pieces. To start with, I probably was more private, and it's about doing it gradually. So not feeling that pressure, and I'm not going to tell you, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. I'm sharing what works for me, but you can be really creative with how you show up so that you get the message across, but still maintain the privacy you want. And then as you do it more and more, you will actually get more. I've got people that wouldn't post anything now post all sorts, and they've got a public profile, and you know, they've just really come out of their shell with it. But it's got to feel comfortable for you. I don't know, the cash flow asked me a question about my physio, but I'm not sure what they wanted.
This is a question by Alex, and Alex is also a physiotherapist, like he used to be. I think the main goal of his question was, what was the main pitch you presented online when you moved from physio to working your online business? Did you sell the story? You know, I left my physio because blah blah blah, or
not really? And okay. The reason I didn't was because I left my physio because of really bad anxiety, and I was just fortunate that I had a network marketing business that was able to cover my income that I was earning at my physio job. So no, I now share that more, but at the time I didn't share that at all. Yeah. I didn't even tell people. I think I might have told people I left my job, but I was quite private about that. I just carried on doing my business as I was online and not really talking about my physio. And it wasn't until, again, about 6 months after I'd left that I then did that. And then I didn't share about the anxiety. I just shared that I was fortunate. I didn't enjoy my job, and I was fortunate enough that I'd found a business that was paying me more money working from home whilst the kids were in bed, which gave me more flexibility. But it didn't really attract any business partners. But I think that's probably because my mindset wasn't there. Probably now I would have done a different way.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe because we are in our final minutes, Michelle, and we're wrapping up in 3 to 4 minutes. So if I'm right, as a quick summary, you are focusing on a special niche. You have an ideal client group that you're focusing on. You have a strategy that's leading towards that target group. You're using social media because you don't want to go outdoors. You want to do everything online, and you want to attract. So you're not only reaching out to people like cold prospecting, but actually people are connecting. They're knocking on your door and saying, "Hey, I've seen you online. I like you as a person. I think you're a trustworthy person. what is it that you do, or I'm interested in the transformation, or I'm interested in online business. Then you set up a call. You used to do a lot of calls in 3 ways up until the point that you became an expert yourself. So now you're doing one-on-one calls. If I heard correctly, you are closing 90% of all your calls. So you must do something right. So I think I speak on behalf of the group. What I would like to ask, if we can do a follow-up mini training on how such a closing call in a discovery process looks like. So maybe in the upcoming weeks, Michelle, we can do a role play online, you know,
Okay, cool.
with some of the people, and then people can see and hear and listen. What questions do you ask? Because those are the questions we get a lot. Sandra, what exactly are you saying? You know, they need some sort of guidance, some sort of template or script or whatsoever. And if we not only read about it on the websites of Zach and Eden, which I put in the group, which is onzeisatraining.com, but they want to hear it and they want to see it.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely fine. So what I can do is a process of when someone says, what is it? I can tell you what I say, what I do next to bring them onto a call, what tool I use before the call, and what I do on the call. Would that be useful? Yeah. And it's that bit that I do there. I think I'm attracting the right people first and foremost, but secondly, I tell them the price before I get on the call. I tell them a basic price because I don't want to get on with a call with somebody who can't afford to spend even the basic amount. And I've ummed and ahed about this for a very, very long time. But I used to carry an objection when I was on the call that I'm dreading telling them the price because this might be a great call. And then I tell them the price and they don't get started. Yeah. So that's my own objection and I'm very aware of it. So I found a way around it. So I'm happy to share that. You might take that bit out if you don't like that bit and you can tailor it, but I'm happy to share that. Cool.
Okay. So Michelle, what we'll do, I'll reach out to you tomorrow and then we make a plan for the upcoming week somewhere. Cool. that we squeeze in this as let's say a follow-up training, because I think there's a high demand from all the people that want to hear and see and experience what is it that you're saying, what is it that you're not saying, in what order, you know, how you're playing with the words and so forth. That would be really valuable. So if you're happy yeah, cool, no worries. And hopefully that was not too fast and was useful and you've got something to go away with and do. I think tonight was really wonderful, and if we would have more time, but we don't, we would have spent many more hours with you. So I'm really grateful and I'm thankful that you took some time. So thank you for that, Michelle. I'll reach out to you in the morning to schedule our follow-up. All right, no worries, and thanks for having me. See you later. Thanks, Michelle, and for everybody that's in the call. In 15 minutes from now, we're going to start with our Dutch spoken opportunity call. The link is in the chat box. We see you there in a couple of minutes, and we wish you all a good night. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, everybody. See you later.